Welcome to the 707, a weekly half-hour program produced by KRCB, a service of Norcal Public Media. The 707 features voices and stories from your community, stories about art and joy, and stories that show how we are connected to each other. I'm your host, Michelle Marques. Are you sitting down? Because I have some big news about the 707. We're doing it live. A few weeks ago, Darren Lachelle, President and CEO of Norcal Public Media, sent me a little email.
It was written on the fly, probably late at night. So here we go. Ready? I think we should plan a 707 day event here at 311, midday, early afternoon. Build it around the show, perhaps on the TV stage with an audience. And we can have a couple of your guests on, perhaps 3, and play clips from their shows and then have a little discussion with them. Just an idea. You could record it for YouTube and put it on TV that night as a 1-hour special, record the audio, and then play it back as the 707 Day Special on radio that Friday for your show. I want to celebrate the day and the show in a way appropriate to what you are doing with the show and with the community. Your thoughts?
Nice. So then we had a meeting with sort of a bunch of different people who should be involved, different managers in the TV production and everything, because we haven't done anything like this before.
This multi-platform work like this, yeah.
And then it turned into, why don't we just do it live?
I'm excited about it. I mean, I love live radio. I love live TV. I just think there's a spontaneity to it and a specialness to it. So I am so looking forward to this. I think it's going to be very special.
Today on the 707, I am reintroducing you to the 3 past guests of the show who will be with me live in our television studio in Rohnert Park on July 7th at 7 p.m. We're really hitting this 707 theme hard. As an artist, I am drawn to the incredible art scene in Sonoma County, and many of my past shows involve the arts community. When thinking about this live show, I knew it needed to be arts-focused. One of my most popular episodes featured someone who hides her identity. The North Bay has its own famous street artist who some people call the Banksy of Sonoma County.
I think that's really cute. Like, who would have thought? Okay, I'll take it. Sure. I'll be your Banksy, Sonoma County.
That's the voice of the Velvet Bandit, a prolific street artist who is taking me along with her to Sebastopol on a Saturday evening to watch her paste up hand-painted artwork around town on light poles, electrical boxes, and the backs of street signs, all without permission.
Yeah, so basically I just drive around and scope out places to paste.
Is there a best time of day to go pasting?
I think dusk. Dusk is good. But really, like, it's nice to do when there's a big crowd of people. Like, I've pasted in downtown Sausalito before when there's just, like, hundreds of people in the street and no one's paying attention to me. Everyone's on their phones or, like, talking to other people. So that they have no reason to look at the weird lady with a paintbrush in her purse.
Anonymity is important because what she's doing is not legal. We pull over at a strawberry stand off Highway 12 where she'd pasted her art a while ago. It's looking a bit worse for wear, so she's going to paste a new piece over it, a big strawberry that says, "You are berry loved." We get out of the car and step through the grass and weeds while a chorus of frogs sing to us in the darkness and an occasional car speeds by. In less than 30 seconds, the new art is pasted over the old one. So how did a former lunch lady who's a single mom end up as a street artist? Before we headed out to Sebastopol, the Velvet Bandit invited me to come over to her home for a chat and to check out where she creates her artwork.
I've always been an artist and wanted to be an artist when I grow up. I still want to be an artist when I grow up, for the record.
Yeah. So what kinds of art did you do when you were little?
I would draw. My parents got me into a ceramic class at a very young age, sculpture. Then I started doing painting when I was in high school and really fell in love with acrylic paints. I've done fused glass, collage.
What is it about acrylic paints that you like?
That they're forgiving and they're very vibrant. I like using it straight out of the tube or the jar. And I like how it has this kind of plasticky feel. which I think works really well with my medium.
What kind of art do you do as the Velvet Bandit?
Well, it's street art, and it's acrylic on newsprint, and I call them paste-ups. I put them out on public urban surfaces with like a wheat paste adhesive. Think like wallpaper paste, something, sticky.
It is street art, right? It is what traditionally maybe someone would call a paste up or a wheat paste art, because it is made in one location and then put up on the streets. You're not actively painting a wall.
Yeah, but people think I do, and we'll just let them think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you making these? And you said you started in the pandemic.
I did. I got laid off of my job as a lunch lady. All of a sudden, my 2 kids are homeschooled with me. And I'm like, oh my God, I am going to go crazy. I mean, the only thing I had was like my art supplies to keep me sane. And then I remembered, seeing Shepherd Ferry do wheat pasting. And I've always wanted to try wheat pasting, but just never got around to it. And in fact, I had a pad of newsprint that I bought 10 years prior with the intent to do wheat pasting, and I'd never touched it. It was just sitting on top of actually my refrigerator in the garage, getting really dusty. And then in the pandemic, I'm like, I'm gonna get that newsprint down and try some street art.
So what's one thing that you tend to paint a lot?
I really like painting flowers. I like painting kind of retro images from like the 50s, a much gentler time. Back when America was, I don't know if we've ever been okay, but back when things weren't as crazy as they are now.
Back when we were great.
Back when we were great. Yes, exactly.
She cuts out each piece and keeps them in binders that are easy to transport in her car. We head out to Sebastopol, and I realize I am sticking out like a sore thumb.
It's not inconspicuous, is it? Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Oh my God, I can't believe you have like a microphone.
I know, isn't that with bright red top? It's great. Very inconspicuous for you. You're welcome. We walk past a packed restaurant and into a nearby alley leading to Main Street and the busiest intersection in town. She picks out a paste up to put on a light pole, and the timing is perfect because there's no one around. The process happens very quickly. She pulls her pasting brush out of her purse, slathers wheat paste onto the light pole, then slaps the art onto it, gives it a quick top coat, and we move on, right as a group of people come around the corner. Learn more about Sonoma County's prolific street artist online at thevelvetbandit.com. My second panelist for the 707 Live on July 7th is great at building community through art. Spring Maxfield is the executive director of Santa Rosa Urban Arts Partnership, and she's actually been the most frequent guest on this show. She's been in 3 different episodes, including one of the first ones I did, chatting in Mary Vaughn's art studio in the Sofa District. Here's Spring talking with Mary about the value of mentorship in the arts.
I wish I had her when I was younger. I'm like, wow, I lacked mentors. But
wow.
Mary, I would have
You just
like
passing it
curled
on
under your wing and just been so happy.
You're welcome to anytime. I still have one wing that works. So just go right under. It's very fluffy and soft. We'll get you in there, Spring.
Actually, I feel like that every time I see you, I feel like you kind of just wrap your wings around me and give me like all the the warm fuzzy like boosts, and it's really sweet to be around you.
Well, worth it, Miss Spring Maxfield. You work your tail off for all of us in the arts, so I'm more than happy.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Spring Maxfield here. Tell me about the Santa Rosa Urban Arts Partnership.
Oh my goodness. I think we've been in a period of growth for 7-8 years now, and really kind of honing in on where we can meet the most need within the arts community. And that really for me is bolstering artists and making them a real economic part of the whole system, and making sure that artists can do what they're meant to do, which is do art and not work for DoorDash or day jobs that they hate. And finding opportunities for artists to make money from their art is really important. What we can do is by supporting artists when they get a big commission and the cost of engineering and insurance will eat up that commission before they ever get to do the piece, we can underwrite that for them. We've got some foundational support here. Also making everybody artists with events like Winter Blast, which we stepped into 4 years ago, but this will be its 21st year. And Mary has been one of the originators of that, really taking it out of the studios and putting it on the street and letting people come in and participate. We're inviting more people in, inviting more people to participate. Build a sofa, build a giant puppet, build an incredible lantern. Come down and celebrate with your community, because I think when we all feel part of something bigger than ourselves, we're all much happier. And especially given these times, I think we need that vitality that really strong community connection brings.
In the next segment of the 707, we'll hear more from Spring Maxfield and meet our third panelist for the 707 Live. This is KRCB.
KRCB is Sonoma County's NPR station, featuring the voices, sounds, and culture that make our home unique. From the heartwarming tales of postcards,
our grandmother was the founder of Juneteenth in Sonoma County,
to the Arts Briefs series shining a spotlight on the incredible youth in the arts scene.
Mariachi can express everything that you feel.
And farm tales.
We live in this beautiful area that allows all forms of success in agriculture.
Your stories, your station. KRCB 104.9, Sonoma County's NPR station.
Welcome back to the 707 on KRCB. I'm your host, Michelle Marques. On today's program, we're previewing the guests who will be part of the first ever televised episode of this show. Spring Maxfield keeps popping up as a guest on my show because she's involved in so many events as the executive director of Santa Rosa Urban Arts Partnership. For Earth Day this year, I profiled a new event called the Earthly Procession, which produced fantastical giant puppets for a parade in Courthouse Square, as well as other environmentally themed arts. I spoke with Spring and the project's art director, Alina Newbell, during a brainstorming session where they were figuring out how to design huge moth puppets. Spring recalls seeing Alina's giant salmon puppets that were part of the Winter Blast parade.
Alina was gathering her people in front of their studio and during Winter Blast, and I saw the salmon and I rushed over because I was so happy. They were so cool, and I love the fact that so many people were holding them, and there were so many. And then they said, okay, I haven't even told Spring this yet, but we're going to be going upstream. And I doubled over. It was like one of the moments of pure joy in my life that will remain with me forever. Aww. Because I mean, honestly, yeah, it was just of course. It was already an amazing project, and it was already so effective with how many people there were and how many salmon, and then to just have that added bonus, I just get goosebumps thinking about it right now. I was so excited. It was just I don't know.
I waffled back and forth should I tell Spring, should I not? I think Spring is going to tolerate this level of chaos. I think this will bring Spring joy. You know what? I'm not going to ask permission.
Absolutely.
Goes wrong, but don't ask permission.
So wonderful. And also, especially as I'm trying to get an event off the ground, and there's 600 different moving parts, and I'm, a little stressed as a producer, and to just completely let down and have that pure this is what it's all about. It was so good.
Spring also showed up as a guest in my Winter Blast episode, where she spoke about the importance of giving people space to make and enjoy art together.
It's just a really lovely way to come together that's encouraging everyone to be a participant in their community. And when we are participating in our communities, we feel more connected to each other. And when we feel more connected to each other, it's better for our mental health, our physical health, and our general well-being. And we have an incredible city here, and we have incredible creative people here. And I think we get so caught up behind our screens that it's really hard to make that personal connection. And at the nonprofit, at Santa Rosa Urban Arts Partnership, we really want to give people an excuse to make connections and we do it through the arts and arts programming. And so giving people an opportunity to come out and get creative and get weird and be theatrical is just perfect.
The final panelist on July 7th's televised show will be filmmaker Erik Castro, who created an award-winning documentary called Creating a Photojournalist.
I don't know where it came from, but I've always had this desire to say something about the world around me. I always felt that life is beautiful, no matter how painful it can be.
So I kind of don't want to talk to you about this documentary until you've had a chance to experience it first, because this film made me cry within the first 5 minutes, and I stopped it midway through, compelled to rewatch a clip. When Castro joined me at our studios to talk about it, I had to tell him about how it affected me. I watched it last night, and I just had to kind of sit with it for a little bit afterwards and think about it, because there was so much that came up and reminded me of things in my life too. Like making a film this personal, how did the inspiration come?
I basically started photojournalism, my career, as the industry was declining, and so it always felt precarious. I think every 2 years I always thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do this. But it went 18 years out here, and because I had 2 kids, I ended up staying here the whole time, covering basically Sonoma County. And so these last 5 years were really tough, and I knew I couldn't do this job anymore. As much as I dearly loved it, I couldn't afford to be a photojournalist anymore. So I was looking for a way out and really struggling. And last year, I got an offer to do a talk about journalism in Petaluma. And while I was preparing for it, I was editing my mother's old films to do an intro. And it was like a switch clicked in my head, and this pouring of emotion came out. It was overwhelming, to say the least.
Yeah. It is a really emotional film, especially at the beginning, to watch you and your siblings and your parents, and you talk about capturing this youth and their skin on film.
My parents were lifelong film lovers, and my mom, when she was younger, she wanted to be a film star. So it wasn't a surprise that my mom, back in 1963, would purchase a 8mm film camera. They put all our young bodies in this celluloid time capsule. I edited that beginning opening of the film first and realized, wow, this was going to be a 5-minute introduction about my life. And then I realized, I think I have a film here. I don't know what it is, but all this stuff's coming out. I'm re-examining 20 years of my life. And it's almost like I wanted to say one last thing about the industry, because I knew I was leaving it. You know, my daughter, who appears in it quite frequently, turned 19 and was moving to San Francisco. And while I was making this film, I was driving her 2 or 3 times a week to San Francisco to her restaurant job. And I would stay in the city, and I would edit the film in the public library system.
Oh, wow.
I was going to the Potrero Hill Public Library every night, basically every other night, and editing this film. And so I just let the film unfold as what you saw last night. It wasn't anything I felt like I had any control over. It was just something I was going to make, maybe show to some local galleries and have something for my kids and family to see. But I never thought it would have this kind of, these legs and have this attention and win these awards and all these festivals. It's been overwhelming, to say the least.
Sort of at the end of the film, you talk about getting an envelope with some photos. And it felt like watching this movie felt like finding someone's box of photos. Like it was just these clips and these images and videos from your life. So tell me about sort of assembling this, because there's so much in it.
There really is a lot. And I think that's why I was nervous about the film. I felt like there's so much in it. Even when I finished it, I didn't know what the film was quite about. But I knew it dealt with memory, and memory is something that I've always been fascinated with. And this entire film deals with memory, where it's memories of my childhood. Even the documentary figures, the characters in it my subjects, they're talking about their past. The entire film kind of evolves in this idea of memory and what it means and how there are our own individual truths. And I just found it fascinating that I spent essentially 20 years of my life trying to document truth, when all along I always felt that we kind of invent our own truths. And I always really embraced that as a photojournalist. I never really felt I was seeking absolute truth. I was more interested in what people wanted to invent about themselves.
That's filmmaker Erik Castro. You can watch the 707 live on July 7th at 7 p.m. on Norcal Public Media's television stations, KRCB TV and KPJK TV, or through our app, and hear the show right here on July 10th. I'm your host and producer of this program, Michelle Marques. This show is a service of Norcal Public Media. Our president and CEO is Darren Lachelle.